Hey everyone, I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are. Um, I've been thinking a lot about death in general over the past few months and years, well, months mostly, um, because not because I have faced incurable disease or anything like that, but because I know a lot of people around me are, which is one of the reasons, but also because I've been thinking a lot about whether I want to have kids or not. And a lot of people say to me that, that's the only way you're going to leave a legacy behind is if you have children, then at least there'll be someone to remember you by when you die. And I think about that and I think to myself, that seems like a really horrible reason to have children. If that's the only reason you have kids is because you want someone to remember you by when you're dead, I don't know about that. So I've been thinking about it for that reason, but also more so because there's so much horrible stuff happening in this world right now, and good things as well. I'm an optimist. I love this world. I love people. I think they're all good, mostly trying to be good, trying to love. But there is also a lot of crazy stuff happening in this world where you look at it and you think, what is going on? Who are all these crazy people who are living like this? And why is the world getting so crazy? And you think to yourself, is this really how the world is going to be when I die? Or is this how good I'm going to be living in this world for the next few years? And it just makes you really think about why is all this happening? Why are people becoming so crazy? And it makes me think more and more about my death and wanting to make my life matter more in the regard that I don't want to have regrets at the end of my life for sure. That's one of my main things. But also, I want to be constantly thinking about death so I can use that thought, use death as a teacher. That's how I think of death, as a teacher, as a guru. If you're really searching for a guru, and so many of us are, I think the best guru is death, and your own death as your guru. So if you could think about in every moment that what is my lesson here? What if I died right now? What is the lesson there? What is my guru, my death, telling me in every moment? What if I died today? What if I died tomorrow? What if I died in 6 months? What is the lesson there? And I think that if you constantly were able to think of death as your teacher, you're able to bring so much so much into your life, so much into your thinking. Because, for example, if you think that, I might die tomorrow, you'd really, really think about how am I going to spend today? How am I going to spend these moments that I'm spending right now? And for me, the real lesson has been that I would spend my days as I spend them, even if I was going to die tomorrow. I would do these live videos, I would do all the writing that I do, I would go and hang out with friends, I would talk to my family. The only thing I'm missing right now is that I'm really, really far away from my close relatives, my family, my parents, whom I love, and my brother and sister. And that's the only thing that's missing from my life right now. But I have FaceTime, and so I talk to them all the time. But I do miss that. But if I was dying tomorrow, I would do exactly the same thing, except I would travel to Toronto and I would do all of this stuff with them around, so I would be able to say goodbye to them, right? And if I wasn't able to travel back, which is because it takes almost 24 hours to go back to Toronto, I would spend as much time as possible on FaceTime with them, right? And so I would do exactly the same thing as I'm doing right now if I was dying tomorrow. If I was going to die tomorrow or in 6 months, I'm actually living my ideal life. And that really, really made me realize that I am actually living my ideal life, and death as a teacher is really, really working out for me right now in this moment. But if you had talked to me a year ago, or 6 months ago, or even 9 months ago, I would have said to you that I am not living my ideal life at that point. And if I died tomorrow, then what I would say to you is that I would have a lot of regrets. And that in itself was a lesson to me because I realized I don't like that. I don't like having regrets. And I don't like saying that if I died tomorrow, that I would be full of regrets. So that in itself is a great learning from death. In addition, you can also think about, thanks Victoria, that's a great, great thing. She says that she talked to her kids about the fact that what if we died tomorrow, today? Will our actions and deeds be something to be remembered by? And that's awesome. But I also want you to kind of think, Victoria, is that I don't think that is the important thing, if our actions and deeds will be remembered. That's not the point. Because when you're doing that, you're actually putting the locus of control outside of yourself. And you're saying that I want to be remembered because my ego cares about it. And death in itself, when you are thinking about death, that kills ego instantaneously. Because when you're dying tomorrow, you're not thinking about your ego. You're not thinking about, oh, is everyone going to remember me? Or, will Oprah think of me? Or, things like that. You don't care about fame, fortune, or all of the superficial stuff, because death strips away all that stuff. So you'll really start thinking about what really truly matters to me. And a lot of times you'll realize that fame and fortune or deeds and actions and being remembered is not the thing that matters to you. Because there's billions of us, and if you really think about the essence of life, we are a minutia compared to the relative nature of this universe. The universe has existed for 18 billion years, I think. 18 billion. And we've been around as a civilization for 10,000 years, which is a minuscule amount. And our lives in the whole essence of it is 100 years at most, which is nothing. So no one is going to remember you. And that's not the point. You're not here to be remembered. You're not here to be remembered by random people who are going to die anyways. And at the end of it, when the earth dies off and the universe is ending, it won't really matter if someone remembers you, because the earth is not going to be here. No one is going to be here to remember you. That's not the point. You don't care about if you're going to be remembered or not. And the whole essence of you want to have kids, someone remembers you, that's bullshit. Because what if your kids don't have kids and then no one remembers you? Does that really matter? You'll be up there anyways, or wherever you will be, or you might be in your next life. You're not going to think about who's remembering you or thinking of you. That is not the point. Okay? So the point is, are you doing what you want to do with your life right now? Are you living your life the way you want to? Are your heart's desires being met? Are you following your intuition and your gut, which is telling you to live a certain way? That is the most important thing. It isn't important if someone remembers you. It isn't important if you leave a legacy. It isn't important if your ego is satisfied. It doesn't matter if you have fame or fortune. All of this stuff is going to die off anyways. The earth will die off, the sun will die off in 50,000 years, the earth is going to be consumed, this universe is going to be consumed in a billion years as well. Nothing will exist anymore anyways. And if you really think about it, once you're dead, you won't care if anyone thinks of you or remembers you. It won't matter to you. So the main important thing is, in every single moment that you're living your life, are you doing what you want to do? And it's really interesting to me because a lot of people will come back to me and say, you're being so selfish. You only care about yourself. And I really have to think about these people and say, what is this trigger in them? What is the big deal with being selfish? Why are they so upset by it? Because I'm not being selfish in a way that I'm killing people for it. I'm being selfish in a way that I'm living my ideal life and being truly happy with the way I want to live. Because that happiness and joy doesn't only translate to myself, but translates to everyone else around me. Because I'm living my ideal life right now, I'm actually doing all these live videos and I'm bringing joy and hopefully learning to all these individuals. Through my writing, I'm bringing joy and learning to a lot of individuals, but I'm doing it for myself. But I'm still bringing joy to the world. I'm still perhaps leaving a legacy behind. Maybe people will not remember me, but maybe they'll remember my writing or something like that. That's not the point again. But I'm doing what I want to do with my life, right? Not doing it to be remembered. A lot of times people are not going to remember you, and that's totally fine. If your ego comes into it, though, you'll be like, oh my God, I don't want to be forgotten. But eventually, everything is going to die off anyways, and it won't matter anyways. Seriously, when you're dead, when you're living your next life, it won't matter if people here right now remember you or not. It really will not matter. What will matter, though, at your deathbed is, did I do what I wanted to do with my life? That is the most important questions you're going to ask yourself. That's the only question you're going to ask yourself, is did I do what I wanted to do with my life here? Did I do what I wanted to do with my time here? My precious, limited time. That second that I actually really get to live. That minutia. That minuscule second. That minority of time. That microsecond. Did I do what I wanted to do with this time? It's the only question that's really going to matter. It won't matter if you were really, really rich while you did it. It won't matter if you were really famous while you did it. It won't matter how many people knew you. It won't matter how many people you affected. All of that stuff won't matter. The only thing that'll matter is what you did. Now, love and compassion obviously comes into it. And when you're living a life based on your ideals, love and compassion, I think, automatically joins up with it. Because as in essence, as human beings, when we really do truly live as we want to live, love, compassion, and all that stuff comes into it naturally because that's our essence. That's what human beings are all about. Love, compassion, connection. That's what we are. That's what we try to be like. If we didn't have all of these different things telling us that we're supposed to do things differently, no, you have to be rich, you have to be successful, you have to be a millionaire, you have to have a lot of homes, you have to have a lot of stuff. If we didn't listen to all the different voices that were telling us all of this stuff, love and compassion is going to rule the day. That's just the way it is. Selfishness doesn't come into it because that's how human beings want to live. We want to be happy, we want to love. We want to be loved, and we want to have connection. We want to do the things that we love to do, that our hearts desire. That's the essence of it, really. And if money wasn't an issue, and this is a question that's asked over and over again by a lot of self-help gurus, answer this question. If money wasn't an issue, then what would you do with your time here? And I'm not saying that money isn't an issue. Obviously, we have to live in this real world. But a lot of us have money already, and we have enough money to live on and do the things that we want to do. But we are searching and seeking for more and more money because we're working from this place of scarcity. So that I don't think is an excuse anymore, especially if you're in the US or Canada or Europe, places where we make tons and tons of money and we're able to live our lives. So in essence, I want you guys to start using death as a teacher. Use death as your guru and use it to change your life in every single moment. So right now in this moment, is this what you want to be really doing with your time, listening to me? If not, then go do something else. Do what you really want to be doing. I want to be spending all of my days and all of my time doing storytelling, telling stories, using different formats like writing mostly, but video format as well, documentaries, doing one-woman shows, things like that. Thanks, Victoria. That's so kind of you. So I want to do that. And that's how I want to spend my day. A lot of times the people are like, the question they ask me is like, are you making money from your writing right now? Are you making money from your business? Things like that. And I think to myself, if I really focused on only the money aspect of things, then I would be back at my job, at my 9 to 5 that I was in a year ago, because that was making me enough money to live my ideal life. It was making me enough money to live in Toronto in the way that I wanted to. So why did I leave? Because it wasn't satisfactory. It wasn't what I really wanted to do, right? So that doesn't really matter. Really, really take money out of the equation as much as possible. Take fortune, fame, all those extraneous things out of the equation as much as possible, and use death as your teacher. So I hope this makes sense to you guys. I know this is a very maybe dire topic, but I think it's the most important thing that you can do every single day is think about your death and think about how is it teaching you, what is it telling you, what should you be doing, etc. If you guys find this useful, share it with your friends or invite your friends into the group. If not, I'll talk to you guys the next time around. Bye for now.